Hey there, good morning. It is Saturday, December 7th. Gotta love Saturday mornings. I'm going to record this quick podcast before I get out of here, but this one just might be my favorite. I don't think it's a secret. Everybody knows that I read. I read a lot. I read books, I read magazines, I read pamphlets. I just like reading. I'll read things that I'm not even interested in just to like exercise my mind, my brain, or whatever. So I've put together five quick like tips or just ideas or what I think reading does for you. Number one, it creates confidence. I get a lot of questions to my Ask FM, and I get a lot of questions. People just in general ask me about confidence. I'm timid, I'm shy, and I think that a lot of people are timid and shy because they don't have anything of value to talk about. If all you do is, read blogs, and no shade to blogs, there are a lot of good blogs out there, but if all you do is kind of like scroll blogs, look at pictures, and watch TV all day, when you are thrown into a circle of people, you don't have anything to talk about because nobody wants to hear about, basketball wives or whatever. It's like you might have a few minutes of that, but you aren't confident because when you hop into a room that aren't your immediate peers, you don't have anything to say. So that's one reason why I really, really like reading. Um, and one A or one B is that even if you have limited physical experiences, meaning that you haven't been a lot of places because of your family's income, and it's local, and there, even when I say sometimes that people's minds are local, even if you grew up in a nice neighborhood, you still can have local thinking. So don't get that twisted either. You still can be a local thinker because if you don't get outside of your little bubble, your thinking is limited. And so when you read, you can go anywhere. And also, what it does is it separates the barrier of like, you know, rich and poor. Anybody, everybody can get a book. If you go to the library, it's free. Anybody can read. We can all of the information is available to everyone. So while there are some things that may not be available to you because you don't have the money, this is available to everybody. So creates confidence. Number two, this is not really anything, but just something I think you should do is be deliberate about what you're reading. Just reading to be reading or because your friend had it or whatever. Be deliberate. What is the purpose of what you're reading and why? I use reading to fill in the gaps in my life. And so while sometimes, you're on the fence about am I self-made or not, I'm definitely self-taught. There are a lot of things that I didn't know that I decided to teach myself. And you can do that with books. And if there's a particular person or there are types of people that you want to learn about, like when I was talking about in my podcast, the common denominators of successful people, if you when I was 25 years old, I made the decision to stop reading fiction. I read a few fiction books since then, just because I feel like I shouldn't be so limited in what I'm reading too. But I was like, from 25 to 30, I only read, biographies, autobiographies, because I wanted to learn about people and I wanted to learn, like, what is it that makes these people so special? What is it that they're doing that I can learn? So I was looking to sort of weave their stories together. And it's always that they are themselves. They don't mind being who they are. And that is what kind of gave me the courage to consistently be myself. People have called me everything. She's crazy, she's this, she's that. And it's like, you know what? I just have to take that because there are plenty of successful people who take the L, are known as crazy or whatever people want to call them, but they are still doing their thing. Number three, it will expand your vocabulary. I know that you've heard this before, but I think I saw someone says, how can you tell when someone's not a reader? Like whenever I meet people and they say like, I don't read, and I'm like, I know. This is definitely a place because you don't have that many words in your vocabulary. Not only do you not have that many words, you don't the context. So the thing about being a reader is that you can come across a word, not know it, but you're going to come across it again. When you see a word enough times, you then learn what it means and then you learn how to use it. So having an expanded or a broad vocabulary is so sexy, number one. And number two, when you can walk into a room and you can be the black girl with the braids, with the what they call ethnic features, and when you open up your mouth, when you get ready to talk, everyone will have to listen to you when you have a vocabulary and you have something to say. That's the thing, is that when I think I saw an article somewhere about I think the cover of Essence, as a matter of fact, is your hair still a distraction at work, or is your hair holding you back? Your hair, when you are the baddest chick in the room, when you know a lot or more than everybody there, what your hair looks like is insignificant. I told you this before. I had an internship working in the Trump Towers, global marketing, Calvin Klein, honey. I had braids. Not only that, I had did them myself, and I had the nerve to dye my hair. They were like orange or something, or honey blonde. I think that was the color back then. But your hair is not doesn't matter when you're good, and you get good by reading. Number four is that it increases your creativity, it massages your imagination. So many people are looking for inspiration, and it's like you can really get it in a book. And you don't have to run around copying people because you can release, something on your own. And the crazy thing about books is that it almost is like you left to your interpretation. So let's just say four of us read the same book and then we had to do like a screenplay or make a movie. All of those movies would look different because of the way that we all see things. And those are your gifts from God. Like how you see gray versus how I see gray. Your version of beauty versus my version. Like it was a beautiful day. Everybody's day in a movie would look different because we all see beauty differently, and that is what's so awesome about life and about human beings and people, is that we see things differently. um Number, we'll just do four, whatever, A, B, C. Exercise your brain, makes you think, makes fantasize, use your imagination. And number five is that concentration. A lot of you can't concentrate. You can't focus. How do I focus? In order for you to scratch these goals off your list, you have to be focused. Reading helps with your concentration. Watching television is passive and noisy. You don't have to really actively watch TV. You can turn it on, talk with friends, talk on the phone, and still kind of digest everything that's going on. You can't do that with reading. Reading requires your undivided attention. So, reading makes you stop and focus on one thing. And when you know how to do that, you can really scratch off goals and get things done. And reading, like any exercise, it with your brain, the more you do it, the better you get. And so I hope that that helps. People always ask, how do I read so many books? I've read a ton. I get up and I read in the morning. Typically every morning I read. If I don't read books, I read articles. When I get home at night, I like to read. Reading kind of helps me sleep at night, like kind of forces my mind to stop thinking about a thousand things and just focus on what I'm reading, what's on the pages. um, I have a couple books on my iPhone, so I'll sit while I'm waiting on something and I'll scroll through. It may take me longer. I'll finish some books right away, and then there's some books that I've been reading all year. So 50 Shades of Grey, I bought it because I wanted to know what the big deal was, and so it's on my phone. I'm still reading it. It's just, I guess it's starting off slow. That's one of my fictions that I'm just not getting. But I keep other things on my. I reread books over and over again because I just like doing that. But that is how I read. And then some books I don't even read the whole thing because they're just not that good. And so I kind of take what I need and leave the rest. Like I tell you with these podcasts, any information you see, take what you need and leave the rest. You guys have an awesome weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.